The mission of unity that was spoken about so often by members of the People's National Party is not being adhered to. As it stands, Mark Golding, who is their newly elected president, is being challenged for his authority. And of course, there seems to be no respect for the office of presidency. Many persons continue to issue their malicious statements against Golding. And they also continue to make their statements against Lisa Hanna as well. It should be stated that Golding is currently being set ablaze by many of his fellow PNP members. It is being alleged that Vice President Crawford has issued some caustic statements against the current PNP president and Lisa Hanna. Vice President of the People's National Party has issued a statement that he is more popular than Lisa Hanna. Of course, he also went on to make some caustic statements about Mark Golding and suggested that he will be launching a presidential challenge in the next 5 years. This statement coming from the Vice President will only serve to open new divisions within this very old political organization that has been rattled for the past decade by conflict and major issues that continue to pervade within its teams. There are many PNP members and supporters that are still trying to heal and recover from the 2019 Bunting Challenge, the 2020 Leadership Challenge that occurred between Lisa Hanna and Mark Golding, as well as the recently concluded General Secretary and Chairmanship elections that were held yesterday. It should be noted that this party has been plagued by conflict over the past 10 years, and it seems they are trying to make every effort possible to walk on a new path. But there are factors and contributors within the unit that will always push them towards disunity and divisiveness. According to the leaked communication, Mark Golding is only good for the next 2 years. The Vice President is quoted as saying, Mark is the most ready for the next 2 years. General election is not in the next 2 years, and we cannot change the leader at this time. Nobody can come 2 years' time and say that we are ready now. They will say, why are you currently ready now? And why were you never ready from before? It is also mentioned that the Vice President of the party has failed to score any electoral victory since his first entry into representational politics. He further went on to state that Golding was very capable, but the people are of the opinion that they need a leader like Andrew. And the people are also of the opinion that they are in need of someone who can challenge wholeness for state power. The former St. Andrew East Rural Member of Parliament, who has been taken out of his seat after he grew unpopular with interest in that constituency, believes that Golding has inherited all of Peter Bunting's pose, and even went as far as to make a comparison between Mark Golding and Dr. Peter Phillips, who is the former PNP president and opposition leader, who lost the September 3rd parliamentary elections and had to resign as a result. According to the Vice President, the people are not in need of a next Peter Phillips. They are not going to take that style. They moved on to Peter Phillips when Portia Simpson lost. And they would not want a Mark, but because Peter lost, they wanted a Portia. This Vice President, who is also a PNP senator, and who had contested the Portland Eastern by-election in April 2009, but managed to lose to Vaz, conceded that the PNP would be defeated in the upcoming local government elections, which have been pushed back because of the pandemic. This politician has also said that it is his opinion that Phillips should have settled for the loss of the local government elections, but he never agreed. The Vice President has also said that he was most committed to the party's ideology and that he had the ability to pull the most support for the party. And he has also went on to downplay Lisa Hanna's so-called popularity. He said that Hanna has never got the cheers he has received at PNP meetings. She has never received the adoration that he has received amongst regular people. Never. Hanna will never get a cheer that Campbell will get when he reaches the PNP meeting. Hanna has 100 cameras walking with her. I do not walk with cameras. Anything that I get, it's what the people has given to me. She is training every day and she has no edge on me. When I start with 3, what will happen? Lisa Hanna is currently seated presidential candidate, and she has been described as not being a favorite amongst the delegates. Prior to losing the recent presidential elections, Lisa Hanna lost a vice presidential challenge. The vice president also went on to disclose that a poll had been commissioned in recent times but was not published, and it showed that he was 2 points ahead of Hanna on the question of who should lead the party. The recently concluded elections for chairman and general secretary, Mark Golding was denied his wish of chairperson of the PNP. Of course, he managed to get Campbell in as general secretary, but will that be enough? National Executive Council of the People's National Party has rejected the newly elected President Mark Golding's strong desires to see Dr. Angela Brown Burke in the post of chairperson of the party. And of course, they have managed to stop history in its tracks, as Angela Brown Burke would have become the first female candidate to take over that chairmanship post in the PNP. That reality was dashed against stones, as calls for Golding to reassess the membership of the National Executive Council, as its disloyalty has already begun to rear its ugly head in wake of a sometimes bitter leadership campaign with Lisa Hanna that culminated this month on November 7th, where Mark Golding emerged victorious. Many have stated that the NEC is disloyal. They have all sorts of persons within that unit that choose to oppose, and they have been opposing Mark Golding for a long time. And now that Mark Golding is in the seat, he's going to feel it worst. So he needs to make changes to that group. This long-time NEC group needs to get in line, and they need to provide some support to the party president. At the end of the results on Saturday, Paulwell gained all of 153 NEC members' votes to defeat Angela Brown Burke, who only managed to get 133. Brown Burke has been shut out of the chairmanship post, similarly to how she was shut out in 2018 out of the post of vice president. Now that the post is vacant, we are hoping that she will be able to challenge for that post. This is something that the People's National Party is going to have to think about. For a party that understands the role of women and reaching out to women as a party, they need to look at the message that they have been sending in regards to the women that should take up leadership positions in the unit. I still believe that Mark Golding should have gotten both of his desires. He should have gotten Angela Brown Burke in the post of chairperson of the party, and that Paulwell should have never challenged for the post of chairman unless he has some other agenda at heart. Of course, the post of vice president has more merit than that of the chairperson. However, he has taken it once again from Angela Brown Burke. Some persons find it quite unfortunate that all 14 to 15 members of the leadership of the People's National Party is made up of males. It is further believed that this shows that there is little or no confidence in the females. Angela Brown Burke has said that she would not offer herself for the upcoming vice presidential elections, but we are hoping that she would change her mind. I have absolutely no intention of contesting for that post. Angela Brown-Burke was the campaign director for Golding's successful presidential challenge and would have served as a strong ally in the post of chairperson. However, Paulwell, who campaigned against Golding in the presidential election, has pledged to be loyal to the new leader. But which new leader is he speaking of? It makes you wonder, does he have someone else in the back of his mind, or is he speaking about himself? He went on to say that he's a party man, and that he was born in the party, and that he grew up in the party, and that he's going to be there until he passes. He says he's loyal to the party, and that he's loyal to the leader of the party. But is he speaking about himself as leader of the party? He is also loyal to the leadership of the party, and he's loyal to the members of the PNP. This is what he said to the comrades on Saturday after the results were announced. Paulwell seems to be focused on unity and loyalty, and we wish him the best, but he also needs to focus on incorporating women into the leadership core of the People's National Party as well. He further went on to state that he thinks he's in a good position because he can reach across all the structures of the party. He can reach across to all the comrades, and he has a good relationship across the People's National Party, and he intends to use that to pull back the comrades together. Well, he also needs to attract women and exude some confidence towards these females and put them in primary positions of leadership within the People's National Party. The only good thing that happened on Sunday was that Dr. Dayton Campbell emerged as the new General Secretary, and this was to the delight of Mark Golding. Campbell got 147 votes to Raymond Price's 138. Overall, 336 people were eligible to vote, but only 200 members of the People's National Party's National Executive Council made a decision to cast their ballots on Sunday in an effort to elect the new chairman and the new General Secretary. Of course, according to Dayton Campbell, he's not a divisive person at all, despite him having spoken out of turn many times, and he has been heavily criticized before by many persons who think that he speaks out of turn too often. However, he concluded Sunday by saying that there's a lot of work to be done and that they are going to get gloss over it. As the newly elected General Secretary, he is committed to working on the PNP's image and assuring them victory in the upcoming local government elections. Now like, comment, share and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the matters that have been discussed. Thanks for watching.